So you want to make me a co-host?
Yep, I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually going to only hang out for a few minutes. And then I'm going to, because you just have a pretty regular meeting.
Right.
Barbara. Hey, Barbara.
So then you need to make me the host then.
I will.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara.
Hi, Chris.
So are you actually on the woods, or is that just a background? I said, are you actually on the woods, or is that a background?
No, it's actually in my apartment. It's a terrace here.
Say, Barbara, I had a nice chat with Peter Wright the other day.
I heard about that. That was so nice that you bothered to go over there and see him. We have a meeting set up. I've been in touch with Bill Castro a few times about the issue. And we have a meeting set up. He's not going to be at it, but he's sending his deputy and Matt Genrich. And we invited people from the Bull Run, the Bull Moose heads. There's 2 co-chairs and others. So, we want to go over it. I have arborvitae trees on my terrace. I'll show you. They're here. Can you see them? There.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And they're amazing. And first of all, I got them because my terrace adjoins the main terrace for the building, the common terrace. And occasionally there are parties there and they're really noisy. And it was suggested to me that if I planted these, it would help with the sound mitigation. And in fact, it does.
Oh, that's good to know.
They're also beautiful, and they're very fast growing. They grow about, between 18 inches and 2 feet a year, generally.
Oh, that's good.
And they are so healthy that it's remarkable. So
yours are nicely shaped. Do you trim them, or they just kind of grow that way?
Oh, they absolutely grow this way, and they sort of split off. You see, it started. They each had 1 cone on the top. Can you see where I'm pointing?
Put a little higher.
Tilt up a little bit.
What? Higher?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little higher.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah.
So I love them, and I had suggested them, and we did some research, looked into it. There's tons of articles on the internet about how arborvitae is a perfect evergreen because it's dense, and for sound mitigation. So, and that's what we want it for. But I think that, if Bill is not very positive about this, by the way. He thinks that, the parks may turn this whole project down, even though Friends of Roosevelt Park will pay for it in its entirety. So I don't know. I've been going back and forth with him, and we'll see. I mean, we understand, Bill was told, even though it may not be so, that we can't plant outside the fence in that corridor between the garage and.
Right. What Peter was showing me was planting inside the fence.
So that's what we'd like to do. It doesn't take up that much room, and
it really doesn't.
And it will be in back of the trees in any case, the existing trees that are there. And I think, if dogs occasionally pee on them, it's not going to hurt them. They're very, very hardy. These trees. And they will get natural watering and stuff, and also there's a sprinkling system there, so I think they'll be fine. Anyway, that's what we're hoping to do, and I've spent a tremendous amount of time on this, so I really hope it gets somewhere.
Yeah. Clary mentioned that she had gone over there just to take a look-see as well.
Oh, good.
So hopefully she'll have a basis of understanding. Meanwhile, I did see the gravel issue that some people are raising.
Yeah.
Most of the pea gravel is just fine for dogs, but there were
some little dogs.
Well, there are stones like this that were, and I don't know if they're just legacy from the old surface or what, but I sure wouldn't want to walk on that on a barefoot. So.
Yeah, and Peter has spoken to. He may have told you this. He spoke to the people who run 3 different dog runs and got recommendations. And they say it's an easy fix with 2 to 3 inches of a pea gravel that's in a smaller size. So hopefully that won't be an issue.
Well, crushed fingers. They probably spent the budget twice over, but so.
It's not that expensive. I don't think so.
So Christian, do you now have to let people in as attendees? Because or start the recording?
Well, I click broadcast to start the recording. It says.
I don't see it saying.
Right. Well, let me make you a co-host. Hold on.
No, it took it. It's recording now.
Yeah. Right.
And we already went live. We
Right,
already went live on YouTube.
Right. It's recording. I haven't clicked broadcast yet.
Okay. So you get the broadcast thing, right? So
right.
You'll do that whenever you're ready.
Right.
Very good. I haven't done this angle of it for a while, so. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hey, Madeline. Hey, Barbara. Mark.
Who is taking minutes tonight?
I am.
You are? Okay, hot diggity. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to take them cursorily and contemporaneously. There's some SAT words. And I'm going to then fill in anything need be on the from YouTube videos.
I'm sorry, who's calling? Hi, Mr. Daniels. I'm in the middle of the Zoom.
Doug, I thought you did a great job last night in your statements about the bike lanes. Very, very well spoken.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just, it's all about safety. I just don't want to see anyone get killed. And that includes bike riders, even though they're derelict.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm going to join you with this. And then if you send, you don't even have to stress over it. If you send us your notes tomorrow,
Yeah.
Christian and I will edit and we'll put them all together. You can take a look at it. And
sure. And yeah, Christian sent me the template, so we're good.
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 I'm actually at my folks' house right now, so that I don't have my whole setup here, which is.
Jerry, I think you're the only one who has a template who bothers to set that up. That's very, very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
I created a template years ago.
It's a good one.
I've been using it over and over again.
Hey, so this is apropos 25% indoor dining coming back, huh?
Yes, I know.
About that. Wow.
I put something on Facebook Saturday. We were in Piermont, and you know who I heard from? Tim Mellon. They said they can do this 12 miles north of Manhattan, but we can't do this in Manhattan safely. Come on.
Oh, I did. I saw his comment. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, hey, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a quorum.
Right.
Do we have folks here who are Jerry? It's not even 6:30. I'm sorry.
No, I just started the broadcasting, so the attendees should start coming on.
4 minutes. Yeah.
Christian, I think it's very generous of you to have the meeting from your Caribbean island.
It looked like I'm about to get blown away.
It's just so nice there.
Hi, Josh. You back at the gym?
Who are we talking about?
Josh.
He was asking Josh.
Oh, I don't see him.
I can't hear you. Oh, you may be.
There he is.
Is he muted? Screw. Okay.
By the way, if you press your mute button, M-O-O-T, anything that you say doesn't make a lot of sense or is just not germane.
You're not muted. Josh is not muted.
Nobody got my joke.
There's a mute button. Oh, a mute.
I'm joking. I said if you press your mute.
Oh, I got it.
Moot.
People do get those two words mixed up. It's hysterical when they do.
Hi, Madeline.
Okay.
Hey. This is so exciting tonight. We have wonderful applications. I mean, come on.
Yes?
Yes, we hear you now.
All right. I don't know what's going on here.
There you are.
Oh my God, we found his voice.
All right.
Okay.
You mean?
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. If you burst into singing, it's okay. We're good with that. Girl. Okay.
In the back, it's background
The
music.
hills are alive.
Let's not
Would
push it
you
now.
like to sing the Columbus Avenue song?
Oh, Columbus Avenue. Yeah, they're doing some wild things there too. Well, we've got a quorum.
Yes, we do.
We know Seema's not coming. We're not sure if Andrew's gonna make it because it's a little busy.
A little bit.
And let's see, Paul Fisher. Hey, Donald. Paul Fisher. We're missing 3 people, but I think we're okay. Are you good with this, Christian?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Let's give it one more minute before we start.
Oh, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, guys.
Hi, nice handwork. You're in your
Thank you.
car?
Yeah, I pulled over. Don't worry.
Good.
Very good. Be safe.
We want you to stay safe. Oh my God.
I'll make a more fun background.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's nice. I'm gonna go buy some right away.
Much better.
I'll meet you there, Linda.
By the way, this dog is not in the supermarket. That's a fake background.
That's a great dog too.
Don't call the health department.
Oh, hey.
I should get my gal in here. I should get my nosy Rosie Beatty in here, and then we'll really. This is a fake background that I've got too. This is not really home.
Good to see you, Avi. I think the last time we saw each other, we were both wearing masks in a store.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got a whole bowl of masks behind me. I can't wait till this ends.
Yeah.
I think we all agree. Okay, Kristen, are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
I don't see anybody from 373 Columbus here yet.
Well,
Now let's see who's.
Christian and Linda, I'm going to leave you to it. If you
Right.
need me, just text me and I'll zoom back in, okay?
really?
Yeah, I'm going to the CEC meeting. Going to find out how they're reopening schools.
Okay.
Great. I'm
Thanks
gonna-
for joining us briefly, Mark.
Okay, so why don't we start with 225?
Yeah, let's do 225.
Right. Yeah, let's start with that since they're here.
Is somebody here for 225?
Yes.
Yep, we're here. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, and we can see
Hi,
you.
Linda.
How are you?
How are you? Good, how are you?
Okay.
So Manny, I see you're on. Manny, can you hear us? Manny, you gotta unmute yourself. So my client, Manny Colon, is, while he's trying to get on, I hope you can hear us. I think you know Manny. So this is the Bistro Cassis space. I think it's been licensed on Columbus between 70th and 71st for about 15 years. And Manny has been working there for just, I believe, that entire time. The opportunity has now come for him to take over that space. The prior current owner is leaving, and Manny has signed the lease for that space with a new company, and he's going to effectively take over the operation and run with it. It's going to be pretty much what you've seen in terms of size. It's 21 tables, 52 seats. There's one bar and 4 stools. We'll apply for a transfer of the Sidewalk Cafe permit. I think it has 6 tables and 14 seats whenever DCA gets back involved in issuing cafe permits. The hours are until 1 a.m. I don't even know that he's going to be open that late, but we're asking for a 1 a.m. hard close.
On weekends, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're very familiar with the space. That's the application.
Very familiar.
It is built out, and as soon as Manny gets the approval from the SLA, we're going to open. I'm sure you all know at this point that Governor Cuomo announced indoor reopening at the end of this month. So as soon as we get our license, we're going to go with it. So I don't know. I don't think I've made this request of this board before, but if you do vote to approve this, as I hope you will, I'm asking that you consider giving us a letter waiving the 30-day waiting period, because the sooner we can file, the sooner he can get this license. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting with a fully built out restaurant with dead space effectively for 6 months.
Yeah, that would not be a problem.
But we have to come because we have to bring it to full board, but
Yeah, but for the 30-day waiver, John has been doing those, so
yeah,
that's not an issue.
we can do that. Okay, so we'll write a letter waiver.
Donald, email John Martinez, and I will email him to requesting the 30-day waiver, okay?
We'll do that tomorrow.
And Manu, is Manny, what's Manny's position? Is he the owner? He will be the owner
Manny's
then?
the owner. Manny's
Okay, Manny will be the owner, okay.
Manny, you're muted. Do you want to say anything? Can you pull yourself off mute?
You should be able to see a button on the upper right-hand corner, Manny, that says unmute.
Lower left hand.
Lower left.
Lower left too, yeah.
There
Can
you
you
go.
hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Nice to see you again. Yeah, so I took over the place. The other guys are gone, and hopefully I can open up soon again and bring all my loyal employees back and have some great food for all my loyal guests again. And I'm so looking forward. I've been here for 16 years, and I've been to many meetings with you guys. And everybody is so excited. I walk down the street and everybody's stopping me. When are you going to open? When are you going to open? So it's going to be great. It's going to be the same food, same team, just a different name.
Great.
It's a different name? You mean, but it's still going to be Bistro Cassis.
They're going to be French food. It's not going to be Bistro Cassis anymore because the other company that had Bistro Cassis, they have one in Long Island, and it's their name. So I have to have a new DBA. But, it's going to be the same crew, the same people, pretty much looking the same. It's going to be a little cosmetic work. It's going to look really nice. We're painting right now as I'm speaking to you. And I can't wait to open. I'm so excited and looking forward to seeing all you guys when we reopen.
Excellent.
You will. And then, it's 25% for the time being, but then after that, you'll be packed and packed and packed.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Gas is over.
Have you already self-certified for your street seats? I hope you do that as soon as you can.
Yes, I will. We plan on opening up.
And when?
We didn't hear that.
We lost you, Dan.
Let's wait until he gets back. Donald, in the meantime, what about deliveries? Would they be done?
Donald said
Any of them?
liquor license. We're hoping to, get that expedited as quick as we can because it's hard to operate without wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Manny, they're asking about deliveries.
Nice.
You're breaking up, Manny.
We do local deliveries. We just go a couple of blocks east, couple of blocks west, north, south, and we may do a little grub hub.
Okay, so you're talking about self-delivery, short distances, and may do third party. Okay.
Yes, we don't do bicycles because it's too dangerous. We just like to go on foot, a couple of blocks here and there.
And only background music, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Is there anyone from is there anyone from the public who would like to speak about this?
I'd like to speak about it.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, Manny. It's Barbara. I assume you recognize me from the Columbus Avenue bid. Manny is a fantastic operator. I can't say enough good things about him, but I have one small question, and that is that I don't remember any recorded music in your old place, and I'm concerned only about the having no soundproofing, and I'm wondering if you always had music and I just didn't notice it maybe, or what the story is there.
It's so low because it's light background music. We just have a couple of speakers because most of my guests prefer not to have music, so we keep it very, very low. And actually, I live upstairs, but
oh, you
it's
do
12-foot
okay.
ceiling, and so but we never raised the
so
music.
your neighbors
My guests prefer.
you. That's great news. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
Mark Diller just wrote in the chat that he's going to send the template for the 30-day waiver. So I guess
That'd be great.
We'll take
That's
care of it
fabulous.
tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Every week counts.
Okay, should we call the question?
Yes. Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's see if he's raising.
5.
Yes.
Madeline 6. Andrew.
Yes.
Okay, 7. So that would be 7000. And non-committee members 1000. So the vote passes. We wish you good luck. And we'll move
Thanks
on to
so
the
much.
next one.
Thank you. Good to see you.
all the best to you.
Good to see
Good
you.
night.
Are you sticking around, Donald? Do you have other?
No, that's all I've got for now.
Okay, well, listen.
I put this on just for you. Now I get to hang it up again.
Cool.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we have now 375 Amsterdam.
373 Amsterdam, are you here?
Yes, we're here.
Hi.
This
Hello,
is,
Tamara.
hi, this is Tamara. I'm the owner of Chama Mama on the 14th Street, and we're very much looking forward to Upper West Side location to 373 Amsterdam Avenue.
You have another restaurant, huh? And where is it again?
It's on 14th Street between 7th and 6th Avenue. The exact address is 149 West 14th Street.
So this is great. Any questions? What's going about the, how many seats?
Well, we're keeping it below 75, and that's it. But right now we're doing the 25% capacity with the news, and hopefully it's going to be more in November, and we're just going to go with the guidelines.
I see it says that you're gonna do a live acoustic music.
No,
No.
we will not do the live acoustic music.
The application does say that with a double foam ceiling.
With the yes. Well, we're gonna have speakers, so.
You mean it's recorded music? Is that what it is? Recorded or live?
Recorded.
Ah, okay. All right.
Do you want to? Is your attorney here? Do you want to?
Yes, I'm sorry, having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
I am here. Yeah, so for the most part, so this is Tamara's second location of Chama Mama. The first is downtown, as she mentioned. And so the method of operation is essentially the same. She's a neighborhood restaurant. And we pretty much, like originally she had mentioned that she was gonna have some live acoustic music occasionally. So we included that on this application. If she's changing that now, then we can switch that out unless she still wants to have the option to do that.
Of course, the option is always good to have, but from my operation, we usually have the background music. So.
Okay. But it's not live. It's background music, and I can't.
It's all background music. Yeah, it's background ambient music. Yeah.
And I'm looking for your.
I guess the question is, do you want to change the MOO now or leave it as is?
Yeah, I guess we go ahead and change that now.
Okay. I'm having a hard time looking up. I've got all this paperwork in front of me. So just, can you tell me what your hours of operation are? I know I should be looking at this, but.
It is, the application says 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Fridays, and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. and Sundays 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. also.
Okay.
This is the former La Vela space, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you plan to open? This is very exciting.
Not for a few months.
Yeah, definitely. We're shooting and we're trying our best to do it probably end of year or very early next year. But we're working very hard. We're very, very excited, and all the Chama Mama fans are super happy to hear about the Upper West Side location. So we're trying our best to make it happen really soon.
Right.
Wonderful. Is anyone here from the public to speak about this? Okay. Anybody from the committee?
All right, call the question then.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand. The committee members, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh is 5, Madeline is 6. Andrew?
Yes.
Andrew is 7. Okay, that's 7000. Non-committee members? Luisa?
I'm just listening.
Okay, abstaining then?
Abstain, thank you.
Okay, so let's make that 0020.
Yeah.
Non-committee members.
0020?
0020, yeah.
20? Wait, who's the other one abstaining?
Mark, he's online there, but
Okay, 20.
Or
Do we have to include Mark? He's not on the meeting.
Okay, so we won't include him then.
No, I'll vote yes.
Yes, okay, great.
Okay, so now, sorry about that, Doug, it's one, for non-committee voting members, 1010.
Mark, the recording won't stop if you leave.
It told me that it would. I'll
really?
try to leave. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll try leaving again, and if you can make it record, then now, you know, just leave it. And I'm
Just
using
leave it, okay. Okay, we'll do it, okay.
I'll use a different computer for the other meeting.
Okay.
And here we are at 201 West 106th Street. Kimberly Summers? Not here yet?
Not here yet. Anybody, apparently we don't have anyone for them just
I'd
yet.
like to speak in favor.
Okay.
Okay.
Peter, there he is.
Sorry.
That's good.
Sorry. this is
That's
Peter
all right.
Hi. I've texted them and I hope that they're going to show up in a moment, but it's a husband and wife couple that have Calaveras Cafe on Columbus that they just opened within the past 2 months, I believe. And before that, they had the Calaveras over in the old Lura space on Columbus Avenue between 106th and 107th. And they're taking over the Ellington space on 106th and Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Ellington is moving over to the old Henry space, and they still have Ellington in the park.
Right.
Right.
So it's a lovely couple. They're doing a great job over there in a difficult time. And I would like to support them. That's all.
That's great. Okay. So noted. Thank you.
So the next one also is a no-show
We'll have to
right
come
now.
back to it.
The same 2 West 69th Street. I don't believe they're here either.
Okay. So we're going to have to come back to them at the end of the, let's not forget that we've got to come back to them at the end of the thing. So moving right on, we have 15 West End Avenue.
Hi, Max Bookman here. I got 2 applications tonight. I got 15 West End. I also have Carmine's. Could we just do Carmine's first so Jeff can get back to driving?
Yes, we can.
Should take 2 seconds. We don't want him getting any tickets. Well, so
thank you.
Jeff needs no introduction.
Max, excuse me, before you continue.
Sure.
We have a question from the public. Let me see what's that about. Mario Basas, you can speak now. Just unmute yourself.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say that I'm here to represent 2 West 69th Street. My name is
you are?
Mario.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do you after Max, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So I was introducing Jeff by saying he needs no introduction. Everyone knows Carmine's. This is an application. I don't even know why I'm here with him, to be honest. But this is an application, an alteration application to the Liquor Authority. Jeff has taken over what used to be Lauren Vidal next door to Carmine's. It was the clothing boutique. They went out of business. He took the lease. And everyone who knows Carmine's knows that they could always use more room down in the front there. And so he's opened up into that space to create not only a more expanded lobby area, but to focus it on that new area on takeout and delivery, which he's doing so much more of these days. And so to make it a more seamless process for takeout and delivery, he's utilizing that space. Because he is expanding the footprint of the restaurant, as small as that expansion may be, it requires an application to the Liquor Authority, and that's why we're here.
I just want to be on record that that's my drawing. So if anyone has a problem with that, take full responsibility for the napkin drawing that my lawyer yelled at me about.
Well, this was the second version. You should have seen the first version.
I'm going to put it. I want you to put it on your refrigerator. You should be very proud.
I tried. We're on a tight budget these days, so you know. It's a small space. We're not planning on, it has nothing to do with, we're not increasing our bar. We're not increasing tables. We're not doing anything differently. I think it'll just give a little more comfort to if we ever get back to 100% occupancy, and it'll make sending takeout orders easier. It's just a technicality that I had to file it for the liquor authority. This is not about increasing a bar business at all.
I don't see any comments here from the public. Any questions from the committee?
Well, call the question.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Joseph's 5, Madeline 6. Andrew, you 7?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 7000. No committee members. Luisa?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so that's 1000.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jeff. Get back
Thank
to
you, Max.
driving.
Well done. Thank you, everyone. Stay
Drive
safe.
safely and be careful of all that marinara sauce behind you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice to see you, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
You too.
So my second application is 15 West End Avenue. That's Morton Williams. But their corporate name for the papers you have is Ivory and White Markets Inc. But it's Morton Williams on West End Avenue. Many of you know Avi Kaner. He's here on the call with us. So Morton Williams on their West Avenue location. That supermarket's been in business for what, 2 years, Avi? Maybe 3?
No, 1 year.
1 year, really? No, it's been this year has felt like a decade. So it seems like longer than it has been. So they're currently licensed the entire space, both the supermarket and Morty's bar, which is next to it, but the whole next to it, but contiguous. The whole space is currently licensed for one giant on-premises license. And there was some logic to doing it that way initially. And theoretically, that means that someone, while they're shopping for groceries, could have a glass of wine, even though that's not what they do. And that was never really the plan. What we're looking to do now is 2 things. One is that we are going to file an alteration application with the Liquor Authority to reduce the boundaries of the premises. We're reducing the scope of the premises. So if you see the screen that Christian shared over there, all you're seeing there now is Morty's Wine Bar. That's on the left. That's the indoor space. And to the right, you see the outdoor area in that plaza that we've had since COVID started, and we want to make permanent. So no more supermarket as part of our liquor license. We're chopping that off, and you could see that at the top of the screen there through those doors. That's the supermarket, but it's not on the plans anymore because it's not going to be part of the liquor license. So chopping off the supermarket, focusing just on the Morty's bar and the outdoor area, which we've had since COVID started and want to make permanent. That's thing number 1 that we're doing with the Liquor Authority. Thing number 2 that we're doing with the Liquor Authority at the same time is we're looking to upgrade the license, which is currently beer and wine, and we'd like to have full liquor there. It's something we're seeing a lot more of. Every dollar counts these days. It's not going to change the overall nature of the business, the hours, the very early hours of operation. I think we have it as 11 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock, 7 days a week. That's not changing. The concept and the branding and all of that is staying all the same. Still just, background music inside, light as it is, but we would like to have full liquor. So those are the 2 things that we're doing. Avi and I are both here, and we're happy to answer questions.
So they're really, first, the Morton Williams is really kind of one, it's next to it. So you can have a martini and then go next door and buy like lots of apricots. That's what you're telling me.
Well, you just can't take your drink with you.
Olive stuffed with blue cheese.
Right.
Can't take your drink with you. I mean, listen, we do a lot of supermarkets. Every supermarket that, especially in the higher end, nicer ones like Morton Williams, that's opened in the past 5 years, has some sort of cafe or on-premises, bar component to it. That's just sort of where the industry is going, and so that's what they did here. But we are trying to. We don't need the license to cover the entire supermarket.
Okay. Anybody from the public here?
Okay, call the question.
Committee? Barbara?
No, I'm.
She's voting.
Okay, call the question. Second,
Okay.
we're voting.
Okay, all those in favor? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Andrew?
Yes.
So 7, and Luis says yes too. So committee 7000, non-committee members 1000.
Great. Thank you, everyone. That's all for me tonight.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Likewise, everyone be safe, be well.
Miami, congratulations. Lovely.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Good night.
2 West 69th Street.
Mario Vasquez?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you
Mario,
for-
before you continue, what's your relationship to West 69?
So I'm a district manager for Le Pan Quotidien.
Okay, you're the district manager. Okay.
Yes, correct.
And can you provide us with your email address?
Sure, it's Mario, Mario dot Vasquez, VASQUEZ at lepanquotidien.us. And I know that's that's a mouthful, the last part, and I can spell it out for you also if you like.
You said La Quotidian.USA?
.us.
.us, okay, got it.
Okay, awesome.
In the USA. Yeah.
So Le Pan Quotidien is a Belgium bakery. We were just recently acquired by R5 Brands. We're excited to have been able to reopen now 16 locations throughout Manhattan. Hopefully a couple or more. We've been operating out of this location for about the last 11 years with the license previously, and now we are just trying to apply under our new ownership. At this location, we have approximately 92 seats outside, 16 seats inside. We're not looking to expand that at all. In fact, in a couple of months, we'll actually be winding down business as the weather shifts. And then we'll be ramping up next spring, hopefully when the climate, literally and figuratively, is a little better. Our hours of operation are from 8 to 5 during COVID. And then once things are back to normal, we'll go back to our regular hours, which are from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the location?
Yeah.
Sure. So it's located in the Mineral Springs area of Central Park. So the closest entrance is going to be on the 69th Street west end side of the park. It's sort of if you walk in through where why can't I think of the name of that other restaurant that's
Tavern on the Green?
Tavern on the Green, yes, of course. If you walk in towards the Tavern on the Green, it's just slightly east of that, a little bit northeast of that. As you're walking towards Bethesda Fountain, in that direction, it's sitting on top of a little hill up there.
Is this an actual building or what kind of a structure is it?
Oh yeah, so it is an actual building, and so inside of the building, I would say that the building is approximately, it's not very big, so maybe like 2,000 square feet. It pretty much encases our refrigeration units, our retail area, and then just about 16 seats inside. We recently remodeled it a couple of years ago and reduced the amount of seats inside, and then focused on the patio area. So, we're mainly going full steam ahead in the summer months, and then we kind of gear down as winter months. So that map is perfect. So yes, there we are in the gray area, but yeah.
Right there.
Around here.
If you walk, so we're just north of the sheep meadow. That's a better way to describe it.
We got a little confused because one of our board members went by 2 West 69th Street and said it's impossible. And then we realized that you have to have an address that's not called Central Park north of Sheep's Meadow. So that's,
yeah, exactly.
We were a little
it's tricky to give people directions on like how to get there and stuff like that. But that's part of the fun of having such an iconic location like that as well.
You opening 84th Street again, by the way? 84th and Amsterdam?
84th and Amsterdam, many of our leases are still being renegotiated right now. I think that one is still in the process of being renegotiated, so it's a little unclear.
I look really sad and everything. They say, please. Okay, gotcha. But
We'll put in a good word for you, Linda.
Anyone else has a question?
So this is full liquor, correct? Or
full liquor?
Yes.
And you've always had full liquor?
Well, actually, it's marked as wine and beer.
Even though we've operated with a full liquor license, we really just specialize in in Belgian beers and Belgian wine. We've never really had anything on our menu, nor do we plan on having anything that requires hard alcohol. I think maybe we had a couple of featured drinks in the past. We're mainly breakfast and lunch focused, so we try to capture those dog walkers in the morning, the lunchers in Central Park in the afternoon, and then we wind down by 7 or o'clock at night. During COVID hours, much earlier than that. But it's mainly just to pair up a Belgian wine with our chef-inspired lunches and for the most part.
Yeah. That sounds so. Actually, no. So you've always had wine and beer. You're applying for wine and beer. So it's not full liquor. It wasn't, and it's not, right?
I'm looking at the application right now because I've been representing La Pancakes Indiana, which have always been beer and wine. So when I looked at this application, I noticed that it does have checked on, and I know in the past we have had a few specialty drinks, which suggests that the intention was to apply for the full liquor license, even though we've never really utilized that. So I noticed that that's what the application was for. It was the on-premises is at the full liquor license.
I don't have the. Can we put the MO up? It said.
Hold on.
So you have wine and beer. You're now asking for full liquor. Is that right, or you're just looking to?
The
acquisition, the ownership change.
I'm sorry. No. I was looking. Sorry. I had it. Maybe that's the updated form. So it is just wine and beer. I was a little bit confused and looking at the wrong form. Wasn't updated. So that's correct, and that makes perfect sense because that's in line with all of our other locations. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was just.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I apologize for that.
No problem.
No. Okay, so it's a wine and beer license, and very nice of you to come to us for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be operating in the park again too.
Absolutely.
We're excited that you're there too.
Thank you.
When we couldn't find it, I looked up all these Yelp. I Googled you, so I found all these Yelp responses to you. Yelp reviews, and they were like, "Oh my God, they love you." So I'm saying, "Wow, how did I know about this stuff?"
Oh yeah.
Should we call the question?
Anybody else has a question? Okay, let's vote. Let's call the question. All those in favor? That's
Andrew?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes.
5, 6, 5.
You're awfully stiff tonight, Andrew.
Did we lose somebody? 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7000 and non-community members. That's 1000.
Okay, so thank you very much.
I'm a community member. Is that okay or not?
No, it's not.
I don't know the process. Okay, sorry.
You can speak in favor or against, but you can't vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's a terrific little place.
You can comment always, but
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Oh, are you joining us specifically for this application? You're muted now. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Hi, Eleanor.
Hello, Linda. I was joining in order to understand the CB7 process, both for business and consumer and transportation and a few other committees. So just a neighbor of all of yours. That's all.
Wonderful.
That's great.
Welcome.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone from 201 West 106th Street?
Yeah,
Victor Martinez. Okay.
How you doing?
Hi.
How are you? I apologize for lateness. I know I was a couple of minutes late. I'm sorry about that.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hello there.
I'm Victor. Are you the owner?
I'm the owner, yes.
The owner, okay. And what's your email address?
Victor at thecalaverasnyc.com. So TheCalaverasNYC.com.
NYC.com, great.
Got it. Great.
I also own the Calaveras on Columbus between 106 and 107, if that's a reference.
So you're a seasoned operator, and Peter Arnstein speaks very highly of you. We've already got notes.
Thank you, Peter.
When you hear from Peter, you know it's all good.
Thank you.
So Victor, the office never got the questionnaire. There was some sort of misunderstanding, and the attorney sent the questionnaire. She was also the same attorney for 269 for 2 West 69th Street. So we received that one twice. So we never got the one for you. Or so
Okay.
if you can email it to the office, CB7 office.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll let her know right now.
Yeah. Okay. So she can send it to us still.
Okay.
So continue, please. So tell us about your place.
Yeah. So we have the Calaveras on Columbus, which the neighborhood is growing to like very much. And this place opened up where the Ellington used to be, on the corner of 106 and Amsterdam.
Right.
We think it's a good opportunity for us to expand. With the concept that we wanted to do at the beginning before the Calaveras, which was an American restaurant, because my partner Francisco, he's not an active owner, but he's the chef. We've been working, when we first came to the States 20 years ago, we worked at all American and Irish restaurants. So we know a lot more about that than we knew about Mexican. Mexican food is working very well for us and people love what we're doing, but we think that we have a lot to offer on the American. It's more like a global kind of situation going on, which appetizers become tapas and tapas are appetizers. And then you get your main dishes like steak, chicken, pork, variety of, all the foods, global foods. And I think we can do a change in the cuisine on the Upper West Side, instead of people having to go all the way downtown, do a little more and keep it local.
Great.
I'm starving. It sounds fantastic.
What are your hours of operation? Because I don't.
So
we don't have them.
Very similar to this place. So it's noon until 12 on weekdays, and then we're hoping to extend that after COVID is gone until 2 a.m. like a bar dating situation.
So I'm sorry. So we're going to get when we get your questionnaire, but just for our information now. So Monday through Thursday is, or Monday through Wednesday?
Yeah, so Saturday and Sunday, well, let's do Monday. Monday through Thursday is 12 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday is going to be 12 to 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Saturday, it's going to be 11 because we're planning brunch, 11 until 2. And then Sunday, 11 to 10.
That's perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to speak? Besides Peter? You've spoken.
I'll say that I'm really excited that they're willing to open during this time. It's a crazy time. I mean, we are seeing, well, and also that they'll be over in Amsterdam in addition. We haven't been able to close Columbus yet. So.
Okay, Christian?
Well, I have no question. Call the question then?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Andrew?
Yes, and
7.
that big enthusiastic one for you, Linda.
And then Luisa is 1. So it's 1000 and 7000.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that takes us to new business.
Thank you.
In terms of new business, let me at least mention one thing, and Barbara and Doug can add to it. So yesterday at the Transportation Committee meeting, there were questions about bicycle usage, in terms of there's a lot of delivery bicycles that are not following the rules, and they go every which way you want.
It's shocking.
I know. And it could be that at some point in the near future, transportation may want to have a joint meeting with us in terms of discussing the bikes.
We're going to have a joint meeting discussing the bikes with transportation?
Yes, at some point. It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay. Interestingly, I find most of the delivery guys going the correct way, northbound, southbound. Some of the commuters who are like wording it and giving me the bird. But okay, that's anecdotal.
Yes. A Doug or Barbara, you wanted to add to that?
Well, there was also a discussion. Somebody said, I forget who it was, said that he's been asking for a very long time to have a joint meeting with BCI regarding the cafes and restaurants and the way they're set up on the street, and regarding that. There weren't really any details, but I think if you do join transportation for the bicycle issue, and also Revel, by the way, which will be put on the agenda, that it would be good to talk about that also.
Okay.
Christian?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll call Howard.
Well, I don't believe that it was meant to be on the agenda this coming month, but we can
No,
always
but we could talk to Howard maybe about.
talk to Howard anyhow. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some discussions on the safety. Well, a few issues. Revel, motorcycles, the reckless non-registered motorcycles, and then the issue of just safety on the bike lanes all across the board, I think. So, and if they're delivery bikes, then I guess that would certainly constitute a joint venture, since they are working with or for the restaurants, whether they're directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
Doug, was it you last night? Doug spoke really well on this whole topic. He had 2 near misses, that's why, I guess, but with a bike going the wrong way. But I think you also said, and I think this is an important point to discuss when we do have a joint meeting, that used to be that you could veer over to the side, and now you can't do that because it's lined with people and restaurants. So a bike that is suddenly, when another bike is coming head on, there's nowhere to go. Both bikes have to really stop.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that the word is safety, and for everyone involved, and so there's a lot of resistance. I've at least felt it personally when I bring up the issue of delivery. Bikers that are on the e-bikes, that we want to protect them, and we do. I don't want to see them get hurt. I want them to be gainfully employed. I want them to be safe. And so there's a lot of resistance in saying, well, they have immigration issues, they have income issues, and they're under great pressure. Yes, they are, and I don't want them to be hurt and end up having a medical issue, and I don't want them to hurt anyone else. So
right, which we've seen before. But I'll tell you, the commuter bikes, I find the commuter bikes thwarting the rules more often than the delivery guys, at least up in my part of the hood in the 80s.
I just and this is more of
it's anecdotal
issue. Obviously, a lot of this veers into BCI because some of these people are working, obviously, for the businesses. But I just think that we're, as bikes proliferate, whether you love them or hate them or indifferent, just statistically speaking, the more of these vehicles you have, the more likelihood you have for conflict. And we just, and the more people that are taking liberties and not being safe, not going the right way, we're going to have more accidents. So we just have to really think of this in a preventative way. And it's not calling out any particular group of people, or it's just, it's metal on metal or metal on flesh. And that's what I'm afraid of happening.
Andrew or Peter, in terms of restaurants that are next to a bike lane, have you heard any problems?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
I'm sorry, Christian. You were asking about residents next to?
No. Any of these restaurants that would be next to a bike lane, if they're using this?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really dangerous. And I was going to pick up on what Doug was saying, just that we've been seeing bikes going everywhere, not just in the bike lane, but in the middle of the road. And with cars speed, I will say that the cars are going much faster than they should be at this point.
Sure.
So that's a further danger to everybody, to themselves. In any case, my point is that we need to get everybody back on track. And I'm afraid the electric bikes are going to be the hardest. They are heavy and they're fast, and the riders are too often not paying attention. They can be talking They can be smoking, just a variety of things.
You're talking about like the rebels. You're not talking about like
No, electric bikes. Yeah, the electric bikes in general, I am very concerned about. I mean, I will name names, and that one name is Domino's, just drives me nuts. But then the other one is, or the other group is the ones that are not affiliated with restaurants, because I've had them driving on sidewalks, or riding on sidewalks. I've had them going all over, and I just, we've been very lucky, and we look, and I tend to think that we look out for each other. But just the fear that they raise in elderly people and in families with young kids is just really, it just raises people's blood pressure. So.
I want to say something.
Hey, Doug, hold on a second. Andrew, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think I think it's an issue. Clearly, the the restaurants with the seating and the bikes kind of flying back. I've seen some restaurants they've put up kind of signs, slow down. I'm not sure how much they help or don't, but I think it's probably nice to have them. And yeah, I think everyone really needs to learn to be very cautious. But we also need to ensure that, do everything we can to make sure that people are going the right way and not going too fast. And they're being cautious too, that people are going back and forth between the sidewalk and kind of outdoor dining areas.
Well, we're talking about education and enforcement. There's not a lot of enforcement right now because we
And not likely to be for a long time.
they don't want to get involved in this for good reason. They get slammed. So
it's also that, first of all, by the way, the slow down signs, when I do ride a bike, I see it, and I think it's a helpful reminder. And it's also a helpful reminder to the patrons that, oh yeah, this is, hopefully there's a sign for the patrons too, to be careful when you're walking across the bike lane. I want to say something positive. When I see all the delivery guys racing through, I'm very happy because I know that translates into some business, notwithstanding the third-party delivery fees and all the other things that we have issues with. But I love to see it because it's like a flurry of business. But again, it's a safety. And look, some people deliver, some restaurants have their own delivery people, and many use third-party deliveries. So you now have this whole vicarious liability issue where, I wouldn't, if I owned a restaurant, I would not want to necessarily have my own delivery people. So they go to third parties. So now you have the, the Seamless, the Grubhubs, and the Uber Eats, and everybody else. And, I understand that the police were basically told to not issue tickets to the individual drivers, but more to the restaurant. Well, the restaurant doesn't employ, in many cases, the delivery workers. So they back again to the bigger third-party companies.
Well, Doug, I don't know if you remember, but I know that at one point there was a regulation passed where they were going to hold the delivery companies responsible. Because of it. Yeah.
A resolution, or was it a litigation?
No, I think it was the DCA or one of the agencies. They passed as a regulation.
We've had Seamless, we've had Grubhub, we've had some of the third parties in, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You think maybe this winter it'd be a good time to speak to them again and talk about new protocols?
Possibly. There were two other things that they said on transportation yesterday. Steve Brown was encouraging for us to write a letter to all the restaurants and the delivery companies to remind their bicycle delivery people to obey the rules. So that was something that they probably, we'll probably receive a request on that soon. The other thing that it was brought up in terms of bicycles, Jay Adolf said he was going to write a resolution in which similar where in car insurance, or actually similar says the current law, if you own a car and you lend a car to someone else, and that someone else gets into an accident, you as the owner are still liable also for that. So similar to that, Jay wants to do a resolution to encourage legislation to do that for bicycles, so that delivery companies are liable for it, like if one of these delivery people hurt somebody in the streets.
That's actual legislation. I mean, that's not community board. That's like,
I know.
That's up to the state assembly and, you know, the same folks who are going after restaurants, et cetera. No, but that's up to the assembly and the
Well,
state.
I know, but just as we pass resolutions, let's say asking for studies or to have a bike lane, that would be a resolution asking for legislation, you know.
My understanding of what Jay was saying was specifically regarding City Bike. I didn't know that he was talking about.
Like companies like City Bike, right? Yeah.
I thought he was talking specifically about City Bike.
Right, exactly. Yes, he was.
Have a contract with the city, and for them to have no liability, he wanted City Bike to be liable if someone rents a City Bike. That it's not the individual rider, it's City Bike may have some liability. I thought that's what he meant, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Actually, that's what he meant. Yes.
I mean, yeah. Look. This may sound controversial, but I personally think that the delivery bikes should be licensed, insured. They should have plates. They should have lights, reflectors, mandatory at night, and you know.
And these guys should be.
I'd love to see more of them, as long as they're all safe and careful. I mean,
yeah, me too.
A lot of those are requirements as far as like the lights and everything and keeping a log of them. They don't necessarily have to be licensed per se, but you know, insured, you know, the business or the third party entity should be insuring that. So I think some of that stuff should be in place.
Yeah, the problem is that many of them don't have lights, they don't have any identification, and you know, they're.
Well, that always goes back to, you know, what the enforcement is. You know, you can pass any rule or, you know, enact any requirements, but if they're not going to be enforced, you know, that kind of herein lies the problem that we've always kind of discussed. But yeah, no, it's definitely a challenge, and I think, you know, just sending a you know, a reminder, you know, who knows how much impact it has, but you know, people have lots going on. So if they see something from the community board, maybe they say, oh yeah, you know what, let me just bring it up with the kind of delivery workers, you know, now.
Andrew, do you have any idea how many restaurants, what % of restaurants use outside delivery people and how many use their own?
I don't actually. No, hard to tell. I mean, sometimes people are using a combination of both. I think this whole situation now in particular has really kind of shaken it up as people start to reopen and, you know, some people transition to do more delivery.
Because one thought was that the restaurant owner be held responsible for his bike riders who are not doing the right thing or going the wrong way. Like if they get a ticket, the restaurant should also be.
Well, I think they are now. I think that was a year or two ago legislation that passed. So they are responsible.
See, there are two things: is enforcing it, and the other thing is that so many, because of the liability, so many of the restaurant owners did go over to third party. So because it's expensive to have your own bicyclist, and then you're responsible for it, and they get tickets, but they don't stop either. We have a dear friend who's still, you know, who ended up in the hospital, who was hit by a delivery guy going the wrong way on Amsterdam Avenue and 85th Street, and got clobbered and broke his leg and just drove away. There was no license. There was no way to discern who it was. And by the time everybody caught up to our friend and called the ambulance, this guy is, you know, probably in a different borough. So it's really hard to enforce because of the speed of it. But
I'd add something, Linda. You know, I don't know, you know, it may be a little controversial, not saying this is necessarily my opinion or not, but, you know, I think some things you kind of have to accept the reality of, that there's probably not anytime soon going to be very aggressive enforcement. It's just a situation. There's so much packaged and tied up in this, and obviously
No, we just lost you.
Lost your audio.
Andrew.
You know, perhaps if we had a better connected, bike lane system on the Upper West Side and throughout the city, you know, the infrastructure in which people have to operate within also helps kind of control the safety in a sense. And when there's not a connected system, it kind of leaves people up to kind of making their own maneuvering throughout the city, so to speak. So then, not to justify, you know, the behavior, but just to point out that having a more kind of coherent and calculated system could allow for better compliance and safer streets.
Sure. So the e-bikes are now legal, if I understand correctly. There was a while that they
Well,
weren't.
I thought it was just the pedal assist only.
Well, pedal assist, and then I think the non-throttled e-bikes that have a limiter on them. Is that correct? Does anybody know?
I don't know about that one. I
I
knew
don't
that.
think, no, it didn't pass. It was city council. That was the guy in Brooklyn, along with Keith Powers. That was their legislation. I don't think it was ever passed because they were going to have, because the problem was they didn't have limitations on the speed, and they weren't supposed to go faster than like 15 miles per hour. But there's no speedometer anyway. There's no way to tell whether they're going faster. So, I think it got held up.
I could be wrong, but I had heard that I don't know, maybe it was a piece of state legislation that the delivery bikes that we see.
Well, I know at the state level they passed the pedal assist one.
Pedal assist, yes, but
pedal assist, yeah.
I thought also, I don't know, Andrew, do you know anything as to whether or not those bikes are legal now?
I forget. I think there was a process. I think that they are, I have to go back and look, but I think it's that they are legal in the 5 boroughs, but there's some sort of like Manhattan exemption or some details where there has to be specific requirements made. So I don't know. That's just kind of,
you know what's messed up? What's messed up is that we don't know. And what's messed up is that the legislation, this reminds me of the discussion about, you know, what to smoke in the parks. That we don't know, that there's no coherent legislation and there's no plan for this. You know, I remember when the legislation was proffered in city council, and I remember when it was held up. I don't remember it passing. And now there's the state assembly and they have their rules and all. And now there's a carve out in Manhattan.
Well, there was
what's going on.
It was a scooter bill, and it was actually all bundled together.
Yeah.
So the governor at first didn't sign it, but then I thought he did after there were some changes made. But by the way, I also am not clear on what exactly is allowed in the bike lane. If it's, pedal assists I know are allowed in the bike lane. Bicycles are allowed in the bike lane. Are the e-bikes allowed in the bike lane? Revels are definitely not. Motorcycles are definitely not. Automobiles are definitely not. I don't know if there's any, but because the delivery guys, whether they have a limiter or not, they're in the bike lanes as well. I don't know that they're actually supposed to be in there.
Well, I guess we can look it up and report next month.
Well, transportation is apparently also looking up these things. So I think it would be a good idea for us to have that joint meeting.
Yeah.
You want to shoot for it for October? Christian, what do you want?
We can if you want. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
I think though we're going to have 2 separate meetings because in this wonderful world we have lots of applications for liquor licenses and all.
We can do the joint with them at their scheduled meeting, and we can do our separate for the license.
Good idea.
I know that. I have a question, Andrew. The governor announcement today about the opening of the restaurants.
Yes. Congratulations.
They mentioned something about filters.
Yes.
Can you elucidate on that?
More details on all of those points are going to be released, but I would not interpret that at this time to mean that restaurants are going to have to start installing new filtration systems. It'll be, you'll want to use the filters that, like the thickest size filter that fits your current system. You would want to go to, all lanes to keep doors and windows open where appropriate to allow, airflow. But yes, more details are going to be coming, but I don't think at this time to interpret that as, installing a specific type of, new filtration system.
Well, I believe they said that within the current system, they just have to have the right type of filter within that. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the understanding is. Like I said, the next day or so. But yeah, I know some people are panicking, thinking, "Am I going to have to go install some new commercial grade something another?" But they should be able to, work within what they currently have without having, major new expenses. That's what the hope is.
One of the things that occurs to me from eating in this restaurant the other night with the open doors overlooking the river, which was quite lovely in Piermont, was that in the winter, you can't have those open doors and you can't have those open windows, and it's going to get cold. And I don't know how the restaurants are going to deal with it. I'm assuming they will. They'll figure out, heating lamps or whatever, but.
So I don't think those are going to be a requirement in the winter that you're keeping your doors and windows open. That's more of a kind of best practice, so to speak. And let's hope the infection rates and everything continues to go in the same direction. And by, November and so forth, we'll be at a lower place than we are now. So,
and
that's clearly.
And the governor mentioned that maybe they can go to 50% in November.
Yes, and that's the goal. The rest of the state, obviously 25% is very difficult for people. I mean, look, we all know even 50% is impossible. It was difficult when you had 100% to survive, as we know, we always spoke about. So, this is clearly a long road, a process. This is a start. The goal is, if we can, everything goes as well as possible, by November, being able to open that to, 50% and, continuing to closely monitor it. But, my opinion, I know it's tough, every step forward is better than standing still or going backwards.
Exactly.
Okay. Peter, you wanted to make a comment?
Andrew, I know you've been in touch with, thank you, Christian, with a number of restaurants up in our neighborhood.
Yes.
Anytime you have anything to share about how to extend things beyond October 31st or the outdoor dining. I mean, we've been talking about a variety of methods, some of them really high in the sky, but it has been a real boon in terms of our neighborhood. To have the open streets for restaurants, and it's not like they're paying their rent off of this, but they are getting a lot of attention and new customers. So it's been a really positive thing, and so we're trying to think about how we can go beyond without using heavy energy use to heat an area.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and you're doing a great job. We've been up there a bunch of times, and it's been great. So keep it up there. And we are pushing, and hopefully sooner than later. I know that's not a great answer because it's not a date, but hopefully sooner than later, there will potentially be announcements, extending the outdoor dining, looking into the heating elements. Currently, as you probably know, only hardline natural gas heaters are permitted. Those are obviously expensive. There's a whole permitting process, but the goal is to look at other things. Electricity, there's a couple of issues. There are electric heaters out there, but the cost, one, two, the commercial grade ones, you can't just plug into a normal outlet, meaning that you need to have an electrician come in and you need to see how much output your building has. And then the third one is propane, which, there's always different safety concerns, but there are discussions happening about, is there ways that they could be protected in a way that, would mitigate or eliminate a lot of, the safety concerns. But that's something that's been happening. I think everyone is aware of the issue, and hopefully, like I said, sooner than later, there'll be some announcements, at least, that would be helpful. And the thing we can't control, but hopefully we have a as mild as possible winter. So, the outdoor,
First time you were looking for
still relevant.
Andrew, I have if I may, Christian and Lynn.
Yeah.
Andrew, wondering, is there any movement on, I realize it's not a one size fits all solution, but there are a lot of enclosed cafes that where they have French doors that open, where if you sit right toward the end, I personally would feel very safe, but clearly they're not allowed now. Any movement on possibly loosening the restrictions for any of those?
Sorry, okay, so like allowing more or using them?
No, just just allow
like Fred's, not Fred's. Highlight.
Oh yeah, like
PJ
highlights. Yeah, so I mean, those now, because that's part of the enclosure, that would be part of that would be part of the 25%. So it wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to use those plus 25%. But if you have, that's a good question. So it's based on your certificate of occupancy. So if you have the enclosed cafe, I guess that's increasing your occupancy. So, it's 25%.
I'm sure this is something you could speak to Max Bookman about, but I know for a fact that the outdoor cafes do not increase the certificate of occupancy because you don't have egress.
But you're not losing. So, it's not counting towards your 25. So, the goal is if you're fortunate and you have the outdoor dining, you get that plus the 25%, inside. But what I would say for the people that do have the French doors, the people that do have an enclosed cafe where the windows open, I think just from a kind of public customer confidence standpoint, people will be more comfortable eating indoors if 100%. They are next to a window, where there's a flow of air. So, part of the other thing with this too is the last thing I'll say is part of, I think a lot of it's going to be consumer confidence. Like, yes, of course you need to comply with the requirements, but like, what are you doing and showing your customers? How are you going above and beyond, and what are you doing to make them comfortable? So that's going to be part of the issue for restaurants.
That was Earl's big thing. I mean, he had a whole bunch of, customers who were not comfortable sitting in the street.
But he did that. He was that's irrelevant because he shouldn't have done that. He knew he shouldn't have done it. That's totally irrelevent.
Yeah, but I was near Rosa Mexicana the other day and looking at PJ Clark's, and they hadn't come. I haven't spoken to anyone. They didn't come to us. But I just noticed that there's this massive enclosed cafe, and they were not allowed to sit people to sit there. And I, as a consumer, I just thought to myself, there is no practical difference between sitting right up at the edge of the window with the windows open or sitting on the street, and they weren't allowed. So I was wondering, but now that you have the 25%, I realize that's where
I think they were. I think PJ. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think PJ Clark's was doing that for a while because someone told me they walked by and asked why we didn't do the same thing. I said you can't do that. So they must have gotten spoken to or fined or something.
Yes.
I'm not sure because they were definitely doing that.
I agree with you, Jai. I saw them doing it, and then all of a sudden they weren't doing it. So they might have gotten spoken to.
Something, even if it was just a warning, you can't do that.
Yeah, but Earl got warned. I think PJ Clark's got warned, but they didn't lose their liquor license. They didn't have their liquor license suspended.
Well, a lot of it is kind of random because all these people they're not really trained that well, and you have 18 people trained, and they're interpreting things 18 different ways, and that's why you'll have one person go to location A, and they'll see, and location B will be doing the same thing, and you'll have two different outcomes as to what happens because of the rush job. That's my opinion of the rush job, this training, because most of these people are just being brought in from who knows where to do this, and it wasn't enough education to do it properly.
I remember in the beginning, in late June, they were sending out reps from DOT, DEP, and DOB checking out the restaurants before they finally figured out what comprised the proper size, 36 inches high and 18 inches wide. It's going to make
We're planning all around.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. Well, everything so far.
It got changed 2 or 3 days after it got retroactively changed the width of the barriers.
Right.
For the roadside,
and that cost them a lot of money. Anyway. Did we solve the world's problems? I know Peter wants to say good night. What's up, Peter?
Did not.
Yes, I do want to say goodnight, but I will quickly say that Doug brought up also motorcycle gangs going up Amsterdam Avenue. We've been dealing with this for over 8 years. And they luckily over the past 2 weekends, they've come after we've reopened the streets. So they're not coming up while the streets are closed. So it's, we've already gone through, warned everybody, and then all of a sudden they show up. And it is a really difficult situation. We've talked with the precinct over the last 8 years and don't have a good solution yet, but it is something that Doug had brought up at the last, at the transportation meeting. And I don't know how we're gonna deal with it, but it is something that needs attention.
Yeah. We've got the kids' raves. I was in a car with Rosie Mendez 3 weeks ago, and they were, there was the bicycle raves. We get them on Amsterdam Avenue too. You get like 300 kids on bikes, and they're doing wheelies and all, and they're having a great old time. And they're, and there's something, but it's a pain in the neck, and you can't cross the street.
Well, I'm personally, and I'm not saying that they're totally safe, but I think what we're talking about is all these these are motorcycles and ATV, all-terrain vehicles,
yeah.
And they're
unlicensed,
registered, and I've got video of them taking the sidewalk, taking the bike lane, they're doing wheelies. They're doing donuts in the middle of Amsterdam, and they're and I just so I spoke about it yesterday, but I think what's happened is that because there's no enforcement, there's more and more of it, and then there are more, not only of the same people coming out and doing it more, and I counted about 17 motorcycles. That's kind of the average of the group, 15 to 17. Sometimes there's 25, sometimes there's 9.
They're noisy as hell.
They're different. What's that?
They're noisy as hell.
Yeah, they set off all the car alarms and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid someone's going to get killed. And so now I think it's time that even though the NYPD has to, if they do something and they're going to pursue them, they have to do it safely. But they have to figure out a smarter way to stop this really reckless behavior. And
they've had their hands full this summer.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. And this is why we have an NYPD. They should be doing some enforcement for this and for the bikes. We're never going to solve the problems otherwise.
As I mentioned yesterday in the meeting, I have been standing with police officers and some commanding officers on the street when the gang goes by, and they literally wave and go, "We would love to do something if we only could, but we're not allowed to."
You will.
The one thing that they've been successful at is tracking down where the bikes are stored and confiscating them there.
Yeah.
So they're looking for places where garages where they're stored. They're looking for backyards where they're stored, and trying to use that as a mechanism. But it's clearly not successful. But it is the one thing that they've been able to do.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should leave it here, and we can come back next month.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Have a great fall.
Have a wonderful
Summer's
night.
over, isn't it? Wow.
We got 2 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, and Andrew, great work.
Thank you, Andrew.
Hold on before.
What?
I think Andrew.
Hold on, just. All right, there.
There it is.
There, that's what I know. I have that nice fancy photo, and then you gotta. Here's the real thing.
It's a great look. Nothing like a fashion mask to really make the world go round.
Exactly.
Andrew,
Well,
congratulations
good
on
to
all
see
the great work you're doing for all.
Yeah, man. I'm
Yes, Andrew.
proud to know you.
Thank you. Oh, you're all the best. Thank you. I love working with you. We're fighting, trying to help everyone, and it's better to, as I said before, take at least a step forward is better than staying still or going backwards. So.
Definitely.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right. Night. Thanks.